are too high for working people, and some of the things we're spending money on, I think we've got to change. So I particularly identify that, the very large sum of money we're spending on net zero, which I just don't think is the right priority for the country now.
Yeah, and indeed, you call on the government to halt the net zero acceleration and prioritise cheap energy over clean energy. So just for total clarity, are you advising Keir Starmer to rip up Ed Miliband's green energy targets, for example?
Yes, I am, and I'll tell you exactly why. And it's not that I'm against renewable energy, clean energy, and it's not that I'm a climate denier, but it's coming to terms with this reality. The three biggest emitters in the world today are China, America, and India. Together, they account for just over 50% of global emissions. Right? All of them are pursuing cheap energy and electrification. Doesn't mean to say they're not doing renewable energy. China builds more renewable energy than the rest of the world put together. It just means that the lens through which they judge policy is cheap energy and the need for electrification, particularly in the age of AI. Britain's emissions are under 1% of global emissions. So we can't solve climate change. And to impose costs on our own business and consumers in order to accelerate to net zero when the rest of the world is not doing so is I don't understand the logic behind it. Or shutting down our own North Sea oil and gas industry in circumstances where, again, I don't know another country in the world that's doing that if they've still got a requirement to import energy from oil and gas.
The other day that they are the highest taxing state government. Good for them. And then they said it's because the other states have mining and Victoria doesn't. And I thought, we've always been the highest taxing state. So I googled, no, we haven't always been. The taxes in Victoria started increasing in 2014. And I thought, is that when mining started in Australia? No, it turns out it isn't. But it is when Dan Andrews got elected, and first thing he said was no more taxes, no more new taxes. And then he gave $1 billion to an overseas company to not build the Northwest Link. So to not build a road, he gave $1 billion to an overseas company of taxpayer dollars. And 12 years later, here we are. Victorians, the highest taxed people in Australia. Crazy, isn't it? Can't wait for the Commonwealth Games that Victorian taxpayers paid for to be held in Glasgow in Scotland in a couple of months. That was meant to be in the regions of Victoria. Dan Andrews fought for it. His idea. Took it to the last election. Then won the election and then just cancelled the Commonwealth Games in Victoria, in the regions, and just gave $600 million to Scotland so they could host it. $600 million of Victorian taxpayers' money. Interesting. Want to do another 4 years of this?